Welcome to White Regis TV Film Review and Preview. I'm Andrew Wright. Releasing in cinemas this weekend is Hamnet, a historical drama film from Oscar-winning director Chloe Zhao, who was last seen dividing audiences with Marvel Studios' Eternals. So Hamnet is based on a 2020 novel which largely fictionalizes and dramatizes the marriage between William Shakespeare and his wife, in the book and the film named Agnes Hathaway, because his real wife was named Anne Hathaway, but that's an actress. So in the book and the film she's named Agnes Hathaway. And it also examines the impact of the tragic death of their son Hamnet on their relationship, which inspired Shakespeare's great his magnum opus Hamlet. The film stars Jessie Buckley and Paul Mescal. The film has received positive reviews from critics and is shaping up to be a major awards contender. Jessie Buckley won Best Actress at the Critics' Choice Awards, where it was also nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay and Best Supporting Actor. Categories in which it's also nominated in the upcoming Golden Globe, so it's shaping up to be a major awards contender, but these things always come up with surprises. I think everyone thought the Bruce List was going to win last year, when it was edged out by Anora. Hamnet is in cinemas now, and remember, to be or not to be, that is the question. Last week, the CNN documentary I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not was released in the UK on Sky Documentaries. The documentary explores the life and career of the actor Chevy Chase, who was one of the original stars of Saturday Night Live and then went on to become a big comedy star in the 80s with films like Caddyshack and National Lampoon's Vacation. The documentary features interviews with Chase's family, as well as his friends and people he worked with during his career, as well as taking a look at his current life following his time in a coma following heart issues in 2021. The documentary also addresses his controversial time on the sitcom Community, from which he was quite publicly fired. So I watched it last weekend, and I found that tonally the documentary is split into two parts. It spends a lot of the 97-minute running time portraying Chase as a bit of a doddery old man who spent his life, and still spends his life, intentionally portraying himself as a buffoon, whilst he was also struggling with fame and addiction. But then when it starts to talk about Community, it completely changes the tone of the film, and honestly, if you, grew up watching Community like I did, or, you're a Community fan, it will change the way you look at Community. Because there are some quite shocking truths revealed about what the behind-the-scenes dynamic was like on Community. And it also, this after Community also looks at his current health and the controversy from SNL 50. So, it just... It goes from being this film about, doddery old man to being almost a bit of a heart-wrenching film where you start feeling sympathy for him. I gave the documentary 3.5 stars out of 5. I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not is currently streaming on Sky Documentaries. So this week I watched, don't ask me how I watched it, because I will deny it, but this week I watched Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Infinity Castle, a dark fantasy action anime film based on the sort of final saga arc of the Demon Slayer manga, and a direct sequel to the 4th season of the TV anime, which was the Hashira training arc, as well as being the second feature-length adaptation of a Demon Slayer arc after 2020's Mugen Train, but Mugen Train was then re-edited and added to for a TV anime broadcast as part of the show's second season. So the film's cast is mostly comprised of actors reprising their roles from the TV anime, including lead cast Natsuki Hanai, Akari Kito, Yoshitsugu Matsuoka, Hiro Shimono, Takehiro Sakurai, and Akira Ishida. The English dub of the film, which I didn't watch, but it quite famously and publicly cast Channing Tatum in a role exclusive to this film, which I thought was quite a bad decision. So the film's plot picks up right from the end of season 4, where the Demon Slayer Corps are cast down into the titular Infinity Castle, which is a blood demon it's where all the upper rank demons live, and so the film follows the Corps, the Demon Slayer Corps, in their decisive climactic battle against Muzan and the remaining upper rank demons. So I watched the film and I found it to be just brutally long. And, not just from a story standpoint. It's kind of like, after about 2 major battle sequences within the first hour, you just kind of switch off. And you do get a little bit bored, because you're thinking, like, I've just sat through about 4 episodes worth of content, in which I should have had a week in between to decompress, and just prepare myself for the next week. But the film contains what is easily about 10 episodes worth of content. There's at least 3 major battle sequences that would normally be split up across like 2 episodes or something. And the film itself proves it should have just been adapted as a TV anime, because it is about 2.5 hours long, but just so much stuff, and it's trying to tug at your heartstrings in a lot of ways, but it just doesn't help itself by being 2.5 hours long and not giving you any time to, as I said, not giving you that week in between to just step away from it and decompress. However, I did really like the animation. Obviously they were going to do really good animation, and I really like the performances of the cast, especially Natsuki Hanai. He's a very good actor. I'm a really big fan of his. He does a lot of great work, and I really like him in this. So I gave the film 3 stars out of 5. It's a shame, really, because I started off I was quite a big Demon Slayer. I'm a big Demon Slayer fan. I do like it. I really liked season 1, but it's just sort of like, it's been the franchise has been incredibly mismanaged. Anyway, I digress. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week, where I'll be talking about the home video release of Tron Ares, as well as the cinema release of 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. See you next time.